Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and jump back into this space. We are going to do the second part of the follow camera. And to do that, we're going to need to go back into our BP follow camera. I've already got that one up right here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. When last we left, we were able to set this event begin play up. So we had this bind event listening for the setup camera event dispatcher, and then it initializes this whole setup right here for the player to be added as an active player for the camera. And then right here we have an actor that this event tick is going to be updating the position of our camera as the characters move around the map. Okay. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to need to start comparing the distances of the characters to ideally the ones that are furthest away from each other. That's what we're going to be looking for. So first thing we're going to start off with is we want to grab our active players, and we're going to do a for each loop, because we want to loop through these and find out who's doing what. So from our previous event tick right here, this is all the stuff that gets us to the point where we're moving around, and then the rest of this is going to be for zooming in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this a little bit closer together and put a comment over this. Okay, let's go ahead and put these a little closer. So this whole bit of code right here is just for moving the camera around to follow the players. Okay, and this code over here, when we're done, we're going to add a little comment on this one too. So first thing we want to do is after we get this, we want to find out what's the current player that we have that we're going to be comparing to. So this array element right here, I'm going to promote this to a variable. I'm going to call it current player. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and connect that up on the loop body. And from here, we need to run a for loop. So this is going to take us through everything. There we go. And the array index that we're going to be working with is, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and pull off of this. And now we're going to add a 1 to it because we're going to be comparing everything to 1 plus whatever the current one is. So I'm going to go ahead and make an add right there, and we're going to add 1 to this, and we're going to say first index is right here. Okay, and then we're going to do whatever our, this is our first index. Last index is going to be -1. So to get that, we can drag off of our players right here, and we're going to get the length of the current number of active players in the array, and then we're going to subtract 1 from that. So we're going to do, well, actually I need to just do subtract. There we go. And we're going to subtract 1 from that so we get the accurate count. So like the length would say there's 4, but if we want to get the index of the last one, that would be 3, right? So our last index is right there. Okay, and then the let's see, we're going to go looping through this body. So we're going to do, let's see, we're going to need to add them into that. So let's see, let's go ahead and pull this over here, add. Okay, so we have that ready to go. Actually, this is going to be an add for the array. So let's see here. How do we want to make this work? Player distance. Yeah, that's going to be, oh, well, let's see here. We're going to need something that's going to be able to hold on to the different distances so we can compare them. So let's see here. We got the for loop running through that. Okay, so we're going to pull off this index here. Okay, and actually let me get the active players. I'm going to pull that in. That's probably going to be easier to pull from. So active players, and then we're gonna get a copy of that, and then the index we're going to be using for that is this one, and then we're going to feed this into the current player. So let's go ahead and drag off that, get distance 2. So this is going to compare the two different actors together. Yeah, really I want to put this one into the other actor, and then the target, I want that to be the current player. So I'm going to drag that one in. There we go. Okay, now this is all one piece right here. So I'm just going to drag that down a little bit, kind of get some things a little bit tidier. Then we're going to pull off of this one right here. We're going to add, let's see, add array. There we go. I'm going to drag this over here so we get to that execution point. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. There we go. The loop body is going to add these different players in, and then we're going to do promote that to a variable. This one's going to be called player distance. There we go. And player distance is going to be just something that we're constantly checking to see like which one has the farthest distance from each other. So we can base what we want to do with the zoom on the camera that way. All right, so after we add it, we're going to want to clear everything as well. So at the end of it, you know, we want to clear it and constantly be getting new information. So we're going to do player distance, and we're going to do, let's see, max of float array. Okay, so this is just going to give us the total amount. We're going to be using a clamp on this though, so it doesn't go crazy. So we're going to pull off of our max value, and we're going to do clamp, and this is going to be for a float. There we go. I'm going to get the right one there. And then as far as our min and our max, our minimum, it just kind of depends on your game. This is how far out you want it to be able to go to before it stops, and then how far away you're willing to go before you need it to, the camera to stop moving away from the whole thing. So let me do, actually, I think what would be, excuse me, what would be easier is if we actually had some variables that we'd be able to tune this with. So what I want to do is right click on that. I want to promote that to a variable, and I'm going to say camera minimum or min distance, and this is going to be the closest it will be allowed to get, and then this one will be how the farthest away we're allowed to let it go. So camera max distance. There we go. And I'm going to make these instance editable so I can set those whenever I am in the level. And now that I'm thinking about it, something else I might want to tune as I'm going through here, this alpha right here is how quickly it'll move to different things. So I think something I'd like to do here is I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to promote that to variable 2. I'm going to do camera speed. So if I decide that I want to adjust how fast this is moving, then I can do it from inside the editor. Okay, cool. So we got that. We have the max float. We're getting everything in there. We have our min and our max here. The minimum on this one, I want to say 900, and then I've got these flipped. Okay, minimum is that. Maximum, I'm going to say, yeah, minimum should be 900. There we go. Maximum, I'm going to say like 3,000. Just see how that looks. Okay. And then what we're going to do is from here, we're going to set the target arm length. So we're going to, let's see, target arm length. Let's see if it'll let us set target arm length. There we go. And we want this to be associated with the spring arm. Okay, that's our target. And then, let's see, from there, then we'll probably want to clear it after this. But I I think this is going to happen as soon as the loop body is completed. So after it's gone through all of this and it's checked the values to see which one, the different distances that we have, then it's effectively coming down here to check and see where we want to go from there. So this was this completed line right here. It's going to go into the target arm length. And then we're going to get rid of all the player distances and get new player distances as everybody moves. So we're going to do a clear. So we'll do a clear of the player distances. Let's say clear array. There we go. Okay, so this will change all those different pieces. Or it'll clear out all the different pieces in this array. These are getting filled up right here with all the different values. So let's try it out. I've only got 2 controllers here at my house to work with, unfortunately. My keyboard, my wireless, but let's see how this goes. Let's see if we zoom in and out. Okay, so here's one. It's just going to stay at about 900. Okay, and my other controller's already in. Okay, cool. Let's have them run away from each other and see what okay, they come together. Okay, you got to go that way. Okay. Hey, it's zooming out. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now we can start. Let's see how far apart I can get before it stops. It should lock up. We're going to go to opposite sides. Yep, I think we're at full extension on the spring arm now. And then we're going to come back together. Okay, you can see the ball still there in the middle, kind of setting everything up. And then, yep, looks good. Looks good. Okay, cool. Now, if you really want to get rid of the, like your tight, I don't need the ball there anymore. I don't need to see that anymore. Of course, just go back into your viewport, go under sphere, and let's do visible, and we'll uncheck visible, compile that, and now you don't see it in your level anymore. You're not going to see any kind of anything that represents where a camera would be, but now it'll respond and everything will be cool. So kind of curious how it's going to work when I have both of these guys up on a big screen like this. I don't know, did we just get bigger, or like are these going to go away? So well, I'll let you guys test that out, but effectively that zooms us in and out with the camera. It should also handle if we fall off. We can test that out real quick. I'm just going to remove a wall and we'll fall off and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Since it's checking for active players, okay, there we go. Now I'm not going to try it with one because I feel like I'm going to need somebody in the level. If my first player, oh nice, it got on there and went for a ride. Okay, I feel like since my first player doesn't have a start to get back in the game, it might not be able to. So I'm going to run my second player off. He dies. My first player is, whoop, oh, he's dead too. Okay, cool. Let me hit start. That guy's back. I can bring him back, but I don't effectively have a start for my first player, so I can't get him back. Something to think about as you're building your game. But I am able to, yeah, see he jumped off, so it's trying to access that first player and it can't. So that becomes a bit of a problem, especially since he's supposed to be in the game. But things for another day, and that'll pretty much take care of most of your camera controls that you need, and that'll do it. All right.